We're feeling a little bit better in the studio already this morning because WarriorRic is in town and in studio. Good morning and welcome.
Môre, môre.
There we go. Listen, we need you in the studio this
and
morning.
I need you. We need each other. It's called Ubuntu. So yeah,
Love
we need each other, my brother.
So, I don't think there's anyone listening to the show today or anywhere in the world who hasn't sort of heard your voice at some stage, WarriorRic. That's the sort of energy that you bring with you as well. Who is WarriorRic and why should we listen to you?
It really started with the Warrior race. And I think, you know, why a lot of your listeners will know of me in this particular region is because the Warrior race did so well in the Laeveld. And we miss it. I miss it. And it goes all the way back to 2015. The race started in 2013 in Gauteng, but it was in 2015 when we descended on the Laeveld. And it's just, it's a vibe, it's an energy, and it's what the Laevelders love. They love that aspect of gees, that aspect that says, I know I can do it. I just want to be around like-minded and like-hearted people who are willing to go with me. And I think that's what the Warrior race brought. It brought that sense of camaraderie, of team building, and what they would know in terms of what I would say is, where are my soldiers at? And the reason why I coined that is because it's that aspect. We lost conscription, so we don't have conscription anymore. Thank God we're not at war. It's not that I want to be at war, but we're at war with so much.
Exactly.
And a lot of it is mental, some of it is physical and spiritual, and it's that thing of being able to say, where are my troops at? Where's my family at? Where's my brother, my sister? Where are you? And the response is, I'm right here. I'm present. I might not have all the things that this particular challenge needs, but I can bring something.
What is the difference between motivation that sort of dwindles out and, you know, goes by the wayside and something that creates that drive within you to keep going no matter what?
When the song fades, when your favorite motivational speaker is gone, how do you maintain that?
Yes.
And it's really a self-discipline, isn't it? So it's about getting up even though you don't feel like it. It's about maybe eating things that, you know, it's not necessarily sweet or your favorite savory thing, but you know it's something that you should be doing on a regular basis. So self-discipline is linked to self-respect. And you have to be able to have a vision, looking at the future, even if it's just tomorrow, to say, I know this is good for me, so I want to make sure that I do it. But let's keep in mind as well, we got to have fun. So in order to keep the balance, what you do is you say, you know what, where's my peace? Where do I find that mastery of myself in peace so that when I get that balance of challenge and happiness, I'm living a full life. So it's not about how stringent you are in your discipline, but it's about giving yourself that balance of investment and reward. And I think that's how we can sustain our momentum and motivation.
WarriorRic, a little bit more about yourself. Where were you born and where did you grow up?
Berkeley, California, born and raised. And I met my wife in Johannesburg, South Africa, 31 years ago.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yeah, we have 4 children, 2 grandchildren. And for my sins, I live in Boksburg. I love this country, Anri. I haven't left. Obviously, I visit home in California. But you know what? A lot of my friends and family back in the USA, what premonition did you have to know to move to Mzansi? This place brings a type of magnetism through its people. I think it is the diversity. I think it is a bit of the struggle and the resilience that South Africa has shown through the years. Remember, I'm coming at a time right in the new dispensation, which still gets challenged, and we continue to challenge it as we should. But it's because of that willingness to progress. It's not that aspect of we've got to keep things the same because we're familiar. South Africa does a lot of what I do, and that is to get comfortable with the uncomfortable, realizing that although it is difficult, that life is worthwhile. It is valuable as long as you stay in the game.
That is so very true, really, and not being biased, but South Africans have got the ability to cope.
Oh, my goodness.
Irrespective.
With humor.
It was
We use humor. Yeah, we use humor. And then obviously, I think the most important thing is camaraderie, is exactly what you're doing. And I've seen a couple of videos and stuff, and you also work closely with schools, young children, because that is so important for them to learn at an early age the importance of camaraderie, the importance of, I can't do everything myself, but together we're stronger.
But you want to know the irony? The irony is that it's the parents and the teachers that really need it. Because what we found in our teachers is that they've lost the passion.
Yep.
And our parents have become less accountable, dropping off children at 6 in the morning and picking them up at 6 p.m. and then asking, why is my child not learning and growing in a full way of wellness? And I think where we need to go is that we need to continue to feed our children. There's no doubt about it, in terms of giving them the energy, giving them the technical skills, giving them sort of that future vision. But we've got to start focusing on our teachers and parents. We need to give them the love, show them appreciation, get those parents to do just a little bit more. I understand that we have a lot of single parents out there. I understand that times are tough. There's inflation. We just got the budget speech. We know it's going to get tougher, financially. We understand that. But make our parents more resilient and empathetic to what our teachers are having to go through on a daily basis. It shouldn't just be about discipline in schools. It should be about fun, it should be about learning, and it should be about growth.
So true.
When the chips are down, when it's really not going so well, give us a look behind the curtains of how you force yourself to just get up and do the next thing.
I first want to tell you that my wife and my children don't call me Warrior. So most of the time I am Rick or Ricardo or Abue, which is grandfather in Spanish, abuelito.
Abuelito.
So Abue, absolutely. Sometimes Opa. I get Opa from time to time as well.
Love it.
But that person that you're talking about is the one that's sitting across from you. It's interesting how people, we have this conversation around mental health and we talk about multiple personality disorder and schizophrenia and, but at the end of the day, we are different based on our environment. You still are the same person, but depending on who you're talking to. So I don't have microphones and laptops in front of me when I'm having a conversation at home, but yet I am doing what I do now. I'm finding the peace. So before I walk into the studio, of course I'm nervous. I'm human. But because I'm nervous, it means I respect you and I respect the station and I respect myself and my reputation. So the way I find the nirvana that we always want when the chips are down is to know that each day brings a different set of circumstances, to know that I will be better if I can just give it time. So it is, again, about that peace, Neels. You've got to be able to find the balance in the peace. Look at it as a boxer. A boxer has some of the toughest challenges ahead of them as they look at that gorilla that they're going in the ring with. But who are the best boxers? It's the ones that can stay calm, the ones that can be in peace, not the ones that come out flailing arms and trying to hit and scratch and bite, the ones that can sit back and just wait their opponent. Think of Dricus du Plessis.
Yeah, he's amazing.
One of my favorite soldier brothers, and I got to meet him. And I looked at him and I said, you know what? You're balanced. You've got such a wonderful balance in the way you engage with the media, the way you engage with your opponents, and the way that you celebrate life in South Africa, which says that he's got peace. He's got peace in his mind, body, and spirit, and that's why he's a champion.
I want to actually ask you, throughout your career doing what you're doing, what is the one fundamental thing that, according to you, people have in common that they need? Is it acceptance?
That's a good question.
Is it love?
That's a very good question. What is the common denominator?
Yeah.
Isn't the common denominator belonging? Because we're really one human race, and we often talk about white and black and Laeveld versus Gauteng and South Africa versus another country. But for me, it goes back to that sense of belonging. If you ask me what I love about South Africa, I mean, I've been accepted with open arms, whether it's Hoedspruit or whether it's the Western Cape, Northwest, Gauteng, Boksburg. I mean, I've just been, so taken aback with the hospitality. This is one of the most hospitable countries, and I've traveled. It's not that just I've been around America, Latin America, Europe, and I have found that here the warm South African environment is what makes it so easy to just feel like you belong. And it's really sad. And I know that you often have to read the news and you have this news cycle. I feel for you. I mean, the challenges you must have to just get your mind and heart in line with that belongingness when everyone's trying to break the belongingness. Yeah. Why are we trying to separate each other when we know our superpower is to know that we are brothers and sisters? When you look at what we're doing with communities and conservation, animals versus man, animals are more unalike than we are. If you look at the gene pool, we are 0.1% different. And that I find so ironic because I look at you look very different from me. And I love that. I love the fact that you're different. I love the fact that you have different pursuits, different personalities. But yet our genes are more alike than they are different. And we've got so many politicians, leaders, religious orders, and people you would think would want to bring us together in unity who are constantly trying to separate us. I think the lowest common denominator is belonging. And if your listeners can take anything away from a motivation without screaming, without shouting, it's just to know that a hug, a smile, a good morning, and that belonging, that sense of belonging is, I think, our superpower and our ability to overcome the challenges we face today.